Maori history of the Greater Wellington region. The Wellington region has a long and eventful Maori history, not the least of which is its Maori identification as Te Upoko or Te Ika a Maui, or the head of Maui's fish. This naming presupposes an ability by early Maori to view Aotearoa from the heavens, and so envisage the fish-like shape of the North Island. The head of the fish, in Maori thinking, is the sweetest part. According to Maori mythology, Maui is credited with fishing up a large fish, ika. This became what we know today as the North Island of New Zealand, or Te Ika a Maui, and the South Island was his canoe, or Te Waka a Maui. There are several landmarks in the region that are associated with this deed. Wellington Harbour and Lake Wairarapa are referred to as the eyes of the fish, Ngā Whatu o Te Ika a Maui. Palliser Bay, on the south coast of the Wairarapa, is the mouth of the fish, Te Waha o Te Ika a Maui, and Cape Palliser and Turakirai Head, at either extreme of the bay, are the jaws. The Rimutaka, Tararua, and Ruahine mountains make up the spine of the fish. Kupe, the great Polynesian explorer, named the islands in Wellington Harbour after his daughters, Matiu, Soames Island, and Mākoro, Ward Island. Ngā rā o Kupe, the sails of Kupe, are rock formations found near Cape Palliser. Kupe and his people did not stay to populate the area, but returned to Polynesia. At Seatoon, a distinct rock was named Te Aroaro o Kupe, the presence of Kupe, in his honour. Kupe then left to explore the other side of Te Moana a Raukawa, Cook Strait, but was away so long that his people became worried. In despair, one of his daughters threw herself from the cliff tops at the southern coast onto the rocks below, which were stained with her blood. This area, with its rust-coloured stones, is known as Parewhero, red rocks. Eventually, Kupe rejoined his people, and they returned to Hawaii, the Polynesian homeland. According to tradition, as they began their journey along the west coast of Te Ika a Maui, Kupe made the islands of Kapiti and Mana by slicing them from the mainland with a mighty blow of his patu. The people of the chief Tara, who was descended from the ancestor Whātonga, settled around the Great Harbour, which his wife named after him, Te Whanganui a Tara, or the Great Harbour of Tara. According to legend, the harbour of Te Whanganui a Tara was created by two taniwha, sea monsters, Whataetai and Ngake. Ngake crashed into and through the rocks at Seatoon and headed out into the strait. This was seen by Whataetai, who tried to follow Ngake out of the new entrance. The water was now running out of the lake, however, and Whataetai became stranded in the shallows. He stayed there for many generations before being lifted high onto the land by a great earthquake. The soul of Whataetai left him in the form of a bird, Te Keo. It flew high above the harbour and wept for the taniwha, whose body was lifted high into the hills close to the harbour entrance. To this day, the top of Mount Victoria is known to Maori as Tangi Te Keo, the weeping of Te Keo, and the suburb on the hills immediately below it is named Hataitai in honour of the taniwha. The Upoko and Rangitane tribes, who are also descended from Whātonga, settled in Horowhenua and Wairarapu. Around the 17th century, Tara's descendants, the Ngaitara people, were joined by the Ngāti Ira tribe from Hawke's Bay. At times, other tribes, including Rangitane, Ngāti Kahungunu, Ngāti Momoe, and Ngaitahu, also occupied parts of the Wellington region, often before moving on to Waiponamu, the South Island. The introduction of European muskets to New Zealand caused massive unrest. During 1819 to 1820, a taua, or war party, of more than 1,000 people, including the chief Te Rauparaha of Ngāti Toa, swept through the North Island, besieging villages and killing the local tribes with muskets. As the Ngāti Toa tribe journeyed south, they were joined by allies from Taranaki. Later, Ngāti Raukawa from the Waikato also came south, and the Manawatu and Horowhenua regions were given to them. The Te Atiawa people occupied the Kapiti coast, while Ngāti Toa kept Kapiti and Mana Islands, as well as the Porirua district. During the mid-1820s, tension between these tribes caused further upheaval. Taranaki tribes, Te Atiawa, Ngāti Tama and Ngāti Mutunga, moved south and became Wellington's tangata whenua, the people of the land. Today, a large sculpture of Mount Taranaki forms an archway over the entrance to Wellington's Westpac Stadium, a symbol of this link with the tribes of the north. The iwi of wider Wellington region, the tangata whenua, are Ngāti Raukawa ki te Tonga, Te Atiawa ki Whakarongotai, Ngāti Toa Rangatira, Te Atiawa, Taranaki ki te Upoko o te Ika, a Maori, Ngāti Kahungunu, and Rangitane.